All right, fellas. Testing out my new webcam. How about that, guys? Let's see some things here. Can I change? No, I don't want ultra wide. Okay, that looks all right. How about that? Very cool. Okay, well, guys, this is what my full, at least like side of my office looks like. Pretty big, pretty cool. Maybe I'm gonna do some more videos with this. I don't know, but tune in. If you're just jumping in, go to 2 minutes into the video, and that is when I'm gonna start talking, start rambling, spin some game, spin some truth, spin some hot facts. All right, guys. Thumbs up if you can hear me. At least let me know in the chat, because honestly, I don't know if this mic is working. I'm gonna test it out myself here real quick. I don't know if this mic is working. There it is. It is working. Very cool. All right, guys. So again, giving it to the 2 minute mark so we can get talking, but important. Wow, it's kind of nice. It's much better quality than my FaceTime HD camera from my Mac. Steve's hot takes. Yeah, something like that, man. I mean, I don't think that I have hot takes. You know, anything that I've ever gotten like passionate or whatever about is just the way I see things. And I think it's crazy. It's what's up, Sean? All good. Let me tell you what's on my mind. You know, we're going to start at the 2 minute mark. 5, 4, count it down. 3, 2, 1. All right. So, hey, it could just be me and Sean talking, spitting game right now. And Sean, this is going to be so good for you. It's also good for me to remember. And I titled this video, Anything Can Happen, and anything can happen. What do I mean by that? It's not just some like vague woo-woo, you know, like, oh, believe in infinite possibilities. But like, shit, man, we've all heard these tales, right? Some come from behind epic victory of somebody at the right place at the right time. And there's some level of like karma to that, right? Like if you're somebody that works really, really hard, you try and you show up like totally earnestly, like sometimes the universe just folds things into your way and favor in order to give you something spectacular. One of the best examples of all time, there was a Australian ice speed skater who had never podiumed at an international competition, and he ended up winning gold at one of the Winter Olympics. He was the first Australian ice speed skater to ever win a medal at the Olympics, and he got gold because the 4 guys ahead of him all crashed together. They were all significantly bigger favorites, and he skated on past them right to the finish. Now, why is this important? This is important because this guy, the whole race, still pushed as hard as he could. You know, going into this, he could have thought like, oh, there's no chance I'm going to podium. There's no chance I'm going to win. There's no chance that, you know, anything that great is going to come out of it. I mean, of course, like you're going to the Olympics, pretty cool. That's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. But some people would just have said, like, why am I even doing this? This is, you know, I'm not going to win, so why go? And this is something that actually a lot of people have as a mindset that is crazy. And this happens at local levels. This happens at, you know, regionals, and this happens at nationals, and then it happens at the world level. But the thing is, dude, like you just don't know. Some years, you know, somebody's going to get food poisoning or get injured, like really unfortunately, and that could be your window for something real big, okay? You know, I just do not understand people who say, like, strongman is like so important to me. I want to be really, really good. And now let's just understand that when we're talking about this, if you don't want to climb the mountaintop, that's okay. If you don't want to, you know, be at the top of this game, or strongman means something different to you other than competing and climbing for that podium spot, then this does not apply to you, and that is okay. And I'm not, in no way do I down talk or think negatively of anybody who does not want to compete and take it to the very highest level. I'm talking specifically about people who are actively wanting to compete and then do things like make up excuses for why they can't go to this show or that show, or people who want to get the events 5 or 6 months out from competition. It is absolutely crazy. At the beginning of December last year, when I just jumped on with my coach, my new coach, I said, like, hey, I will probably do OSG, but the title I want is America's Strongest Man. So I'm going to gun for it. Like, I'm going to have to go to a regional. I'm going to figure it out, whatever it takes. And I just got so lucky that this year they opened up the invite process. This may never happen again, that I was able to secure an invite back in, and now I'm in, and I've got a chance to win a pro card, win some cash, win the title, right? And then these are things I know because I know things, but several of my competitors are coming in from tougher situations. So there are some years, and you just don't know this, right? Like maybe the year that you are feeling your strongest and your baddest and your best, that could be the year when the top 10 dudes in your weight class are all on their shit, bro, and they're all just firing, right? But conversely, there might be some years where you feel pretty lousy, where you feel awful, you've had a very tough prep, and that could be a year when those other guys are also having the worst preps of their entire lives. And if you put in a C+ performance, these other guys have had an F prep. So that, by comparison, is a huge advantage and a huge performance upgrade over those guys that are in the like F grade, if you're following what I'm saying. And there's just no way of knowing these things. So you have to always kind of play these games all the time and give yourself the best fighting shot. Because for most of us, if we get one big title, one big victory, one awesome podium, that's going to, really fulfill us and make us feel complete for as long as we want to do these things. So, you just can't count yourself out. Especially, life's short, man. If you skip this opportunity, let's say you've got something coming up in 6 weeks from now, and you just think like, oh, I can't do it because X, Y, Z. We really cannot be 100% sure what's going to go on in another year. Is Nationals going to come back around? Probably, probably. But there's also a chance that it doesn't. And this is like how I'm viewing official strongman games this year is, wow, it's in Ocala, Florida. Like, yeah, I want to do it. That's pretty cool. But I can't really miss the opportunity because I don't know where it's going to be next year. It could go international. It could go to the other side of the world, not just like across the pond. It could go to Australia. It could go, who knows, guys? But wouldn't it be ridiculous if I was like, no, I don't want to do it this year because X, Y, Z, and then it goes to the other side of the world? I'd be kicking myself, as I sort of do, because I didn't do it when it was in Daytona on the other side of the state. And instead, the first year I was out of Daytona, I drove my ass up to West Virginia to compete there. Now, awesome. And also, like, maybe it just wasn't the right time in my life. But I do sit here and think, like, boy, I wish that I was doing that Daytona official strongman games, even if I got my freaking butt whooped, because it just would have propelled me so much further along. But also, it just wasn't there at the time. And my head was not actually geared up in the moment to where I am now. And that's like just pushing it to the very highest level. So, it's all good. I, again, am talking about these people. It's like, if you want to be the best, or just among the best, if you want to be as good as you possibly can, you cannot come up with excuses or count yourself out from the very start. And it's nuts to me. People just do this over and over and over again, right? Kind of touching on all these things I already said. It doesn't matter what the events are. It doesn't matter where it is. It doesn't matter what's going on. You just don't know what combination of events are going to happen and unfold that allow you to have this amazing performance, right? Or give you the title that you seek. And like, that's sort of how it goes for sometimes some people, like Chris Harper at OSG, who won in 2023, right? He sort of just like came out of nowhere and had a very unexpected victory in some ways because of like some other people making mistakes, just like a really good, steady, consistent run. And if he, said like, oh, well, this is only my first or second OSG, and it's like over in West Virginia, I don't think I want to do this one. then he never would have showed up and done it. How about Mason? Mason Cup. I love that guy, man. I just admire him so much, the natural world champion. If he went into these competitions thinking all these guys are on hella steroids, and I'm not, they got a huge advantage, I got no shot, then he would have never won. So, guys, you just never know what is going to happen. So you better go into all these competitions believing in yourself, thinking like anything can happen. I have a shot as long as I show up and apply myself. In so many of these competitions, if you just don't make any mistakes, like you're going to do really, really, really well. You know, so you go to a big show like Nationals where there's 520 people signed up right now. Boy, 420 of them are going to make a mistake, almost certainly. You know, if you're in that top 20% that has a very well executed performance, gives you a pretty big go, even if you had a tough weight cut and refeed, even if you had tough travels. Like it just doesn't matter, man. And just like had this conversation with a couple of people this week, some in a positive way and some in a disappointing way, to be totally honest. But that's that. So, you know, these Tuesdays are just kind of things that are on my mind. This is one that's really been on my mind today, but like you cannot ever count yourself out. Gotta believe in yourself, go hard, and just believe that you got a shot. You just never know what's going to happen. So, all right, guys, short and sweet tonight. Just a nice 10-minute spin some game. Things for you to think about. Sean, chat soon, brother. I'll see you this weekend for some training.